Hi everyone, welcome to the Aural Theory Series. My name is Dr. Julia Alford. For today's video, we are going to do a melodic dictation that modulates. So I'm going to focus in on how to identify the point of modulation and also where we are going to. All right, so let's start off with setting up your staff. So first of all, we are in C major. We have 5 measures with a 2/8 note pickup. Okay, so you see the first 8th note on the screen, and then there's another 8th note that follows. Okay, so 5 measures plus a beat at the beginning. Okay, good. So the way we're going to do this is that you are going to take down the rhythm. I am going to give you 3 listenings for the rhythm. It's a little complicated. You're going to get the rhythm all set, and then we're going to pause and we're going to talk about the modulation, how to identify it, and then we're going to break it down from there. All right, so first of all, here is your key. And we start on Mi. For those of you joining us from other parts of the world outside of the United States, or even some places within the United States, I use what's called movable do solfege. So that means that the name of the key is do. Okay, now here you're catching a bit of a break because we're in C. So use a fixed do. You're good, at least for the first half of it, because we're going to modulate and then do will actually change. So let's get the rhythm though before we even worry about any of that. So here we go. 3, 2 E and 3 E and Okay, good. Second listening for the rhythm. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and Okay, one more listening for the rhythm. If you need more listenings, you can always pause and go back, which breaks up an important point that I do post the time code for all of the listenings in the description below. Okay, one more listening for the rhythm. Grab more if you need them. 1 E and 2 E and Okay, if you need to, pause the video, pause at any point, but really now you should pause, get your rhythm set, write it in above the staff so you have a place for each note. That's super important. I can't emphasize that enough. Make sure before going on that you have a spot rhythmically for each note, okay? If you need to grab more listings, go do it now. Okay, good. I'm going to pop up the rhythm above the staff for you here, and here you go. So let's talk about this. So first of all, let me ask you a question. Do we end in what feels like major or minor? It feels like major. Okay, it doesn't feel like we go into minor at any point in time. Now, let's talk about our closely related keys. When thinking about modulation, you're most likely to go to something that is only off by a sharp or a flat. So gain a sharp, lose a sharp, gain a flat, lose a flat, or the relative major or minor. Okay, we're not going to the relative minor here because we're going to major. So if we go up a sharp, what key does that give us from the key of C? It gives us G. If we go down a sharp, so in other words, we add a flat, we would go to the key of F. So the key of C is the dominant key, and the key of F is the subdominant key, so the 4th scale degree. Those are our 2 most likely options. Sometimes you'll go to the 2, but that's a lot less likely. So let's assume that we're either going to F or G. So how are we going to get there? Probably through some kind of dominant motion. So think about, put on your thinking caps now. Think about the key of G. What's the 5 chord in the key of G? So G is the 1, D, F sharp, A. So the note that you'd be adding is an F sharp. So at some point, if we're going to the key of G, you're going to have an F sharp. So you might expect some kind of motion of like F, F sharp, G, something like that to introduce the new key, to get us from one key to the next. There's going to be a bridge. If we go to the key of F, what's the 5 chord of the key of F? It's C. So, which we already have a C chord, but the 5/7 is C, E, B flat, which pulls us down to the 3rd scale degree. So you might expect something like C, B, B flat, some kind of chromatic motion to get us to the new key. So now I'm going to play the melody. I want you to mark a couple things. You're going to listen for, do I hear kind of an ascending motion to get us up to G, or do I hear a descending motion to introduce that B flat? And I also want you to mark the point of arrival. It's really pretty obvious where we end in our new key. So there's this strong, like, cadence almost where we're going to land in the new key. So listen for that. Don't write anything down. You're just thinking about the modulation at this point. You caught that. The beat 3 of the 2nd measure. Da, 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 da. Now we're in our new key on the downbeat of measure 3. Okay, so that's your point of modulation. So let's do the first half. Let's get the pitches for the first half, and then I'm just going to stop on that downbeat. Okay, so figure out how you get there. So let's do 3 listenings for the pitches of the first half of the melody. And then we'll do the second half. I'm going to slow it down a bit. Okay. 1 E and a 2 E. Let's go a little slower. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. Second listening. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Okay, so we know we end on Ti-do or Fi-sol, depending on which key. If you're still in the key of C, it Fa-Fi-Sol, which becomes our new Do in the key of G. So if you're getting stuck in there, work backwards. Okay, you know you land on G on the downbeat of the 3rd measure, so work backwards a little bit. If you need to, now's a great time to pause, grab more listenings, and then come back. I'm going to go on. So here's our last listening for the first half. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Okay. Pause if you need to. I'm going to show you the answer for that first half in 3, 2, 1. Here you go. Okay, so let's talk about that. So you'll notice on that beat 3, in terms of modulation, it starts on Re in the key of C. Re, Mi, Fa, chromatic, sol. But if we're thinking about that in terms of the key of G, you could think about it like really T, do. It gets a little messy. So that F sharp is our pivot point there, right? It's the way we get to G. So, all right, so if we're thinking about that then in the key of G, we would translate that as T, do for that F sharp to G. Okay, so now let's start with the downbeat of the third measure and we'll go to the end. Okay, so get the rest of the pitches. 3 listenings. 2E and 3E and okay, and we end with because we had to pick up at the beginning, that's a short measure at the end. And again, 2E and 3E and okay, this last listening, I'm going to slow it down a little bit more. Again, great time to pause, check your work, get more listenings if you need to. This is going to be your last listening. 2E and 3E and okay. You ready? I'm gonna give you the answer. 3, 2, 1. Here you go. Okay, so let's go through the whole thing. Mi, re, do, mi, sol, fa, mi, sol, la, fa, mi, re, do, mi, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, do. So that sol becomes do. Do, fa, mi, re, do, mi, sol, fa, mi, do, re, do, ti, re, do. And again, you need the F sharp again in there and that last measure. Okay, great. I hope that helped you get a little bit better handle on modulating melodic dictation. And please do, if you find this helpful, click that subscribe button and leave me a comment and say hello. I would love to hear from you. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.